A Roma is a pastry oven. That is, an oven specially designed for baking pastries and bread. The first difference is in the shape of the pans. You can see that in this case the pan is 60 by 40 centimetres, this being the standard pan used for pastries. This is a convection oven with a humidifying function to provide a controlled amount of steam when making bread. One innovative feature that you don't usually see in a pastry oven is the core temperature probe. This probe makes it possible to bake bread products accurately. For example, yesterday we baked these panettone. Panettone is a classic example of the type of product where we need to check the temperature at its core in order to determine when it's cooked. So we thought, why not use a probe for bread products? The probe is inserted into our panettone and, instead of setting a time, we set the oven temperature and the temperature we wish to obtain at the core of the product. The ideal core temperature for panettone is 92 to 93 degrees. So we set an oven temperature of 150 degrees, a low fan speed to help it rise, and a core temperature of 92 degrees. Working with a core temperature probe means that we are released from the chore of having to constantly check the product independently of its size. Regardless of whether it's a 750 gram, 1 kilo or a 2.5 kilo panettone, the ideal core temperature is always 92 degrees. Obviously the cooking time will vary according to the size of the product, but we are always sure to obtain a perfect result. Another special innovative feature for a pastry oven is the ventilation. The fan is bidirectional. What do we mean by bidirectional? Every 3 minutes, the fan changes its direction of rotation, so it turns 3 minutes clockwise and then 3 minutes anti-clockwise. This solution eliminates the problem of uneven cooking. When making pastries, it is often necessary to turn the pan round to ensure that the products cook evenly. In fact, the products are often cooked more on the left side than on the right. With a bidirectional fan, we no longer need to turn the pan round, and we have solved the problem of uneven cooking. But that's not all. We have also made it so that we can control the speed of the fan. If we want, we can also select alternating fan mode. What do we mean by alternating? The fan rotates in one direction for 3 minutes, then stops, and then rotates for 3 minutes in the opposite direction. This is ideal for cooking leavened products or food that requires a more gentle heat. The oven is programmable, but in this case we are using it in manual mode. Remember that, as the cooking programs we use in our laboratory are often the same, we can program them in the oven's memory. We see, for example, specific programs for biscuits, for focaccia, which we will be cooking shortly, or the program for amaretto biscuits, or muffins, or a whole range of other products. This means that the oven already has the temperatures, the humidity percentages, and the cooking times stored in its memory. So for we chefs, the day we decide to make focaccia, we switch on the oven and then look for the product we want to cook on the program menu, in this case focaccia. Then we press the Start button and the oven will automatically select all the settings previously programmed for this type of food. In any case, the oven can be used as a proving cabinet if we select the hot storage function and set a low temperature and fan pause, these being the right conditions for proving products that are not too delicate. In the blast chiller we also use a temperature probe, which has become an essential piece of equipment in our machines. In this case, the product is small and therefore will chill rapidly. However, with larger products, we insert the probe into the product before chilling. We have two basic cycles, chilling to +3 degrees and deep freezing to -18. The +3 degrees cycle is the right way to chill quickly and stop the spread of bacteria. In fact, if we chill quickly, we can stop the spread of internal bacteria. Or if we want, we can also deep freeze the food, which is not the same as simply freezing it, to minus 18 degrees centigrade. Why deep freeze? Because with this method, the freezing is so rapid that it prevents the formation of the so-called macrocrystals, which alter the texture of the food. With deep freezing, the speed of the freezing leads to the formation of internal microcrystals, and once defrosted, the product will seem completely fresh. This is the concept of the blast chiller, which also uses a temperature probe. We are now taking a focaccia out of the oven. We prepared this focaccia yesterday evening. Instead of leaving it to rise, we put it in the refrigerator to stop it rising. We left it in the blast chiller all night, so it didn't rise. This morning, the first thing we did was to take the focaccia out of the blast chiller and put it into the holding cabinet underneath. These are cabinets designed to keep food hot. However, if we change the temperature setting and increase the humidity, they can also be used as proving cabinets. We left them to rise for 40 minutes and then we put them in the oven. This is the result. Look, this is a tomato focaccia. Well, this is a slightly smaller focaccia with tomatoes, spices, rosemary and sage. We have moved over here because here we have a different oven to those we have seen up to now. This is a pastry oven. It's called Aroma. It is designed specially for baking bread and pastry products. It is equipped with a bidirectional fan. This means that the fan changes its direction of rotation every 3 minutes, from clockwise to anti-clockwise and vice versa. With this system, we have eliminated the problem of uneven baking. As you know, many ovens suffer from the problem of cooking more on the left than right, or more at the top than at the bottom. This means that we often have to turn the pans round during the baking process. With the bidirectional fan, which changes its direction of rotation every 3 minutes, we have effectively solved this problem and no longer need to turn the pan round to bake the products evenly. We can also alter the fan speed. Look, by pressing this button, we can reduce the fan speed. The fan will now rotate at 700 RPM instead of 1400 RPM. This is ideal when baking panettone or sponge cake, where a high fan speed could move the product, or when baking light, delicate products like meringue. But that's not all. There is yet another fan function known as alternating fan mode. This means that the fan operates for just 30 seconds, followed by a pause of 3 minutes. Alternating ventilation is useful for cooking at night, for meringues or other very light products.